topic today, because we know beauty comes from the inside out. We know that. But today we are talking about how we can help improve our outside no matter your age. Now, we are calling today's show Changing the Way You Age. It's a title inspired by our first guest, the Nicole Murphy. Nicole posted a workout she was doing, and she had the caption, I really like this. She wrote, I will not let age change me. I will change the way I age. Right. And that means how you see life, right? So whether it's her workout videos or her sharing her skin regimen to showing how she eats in a day, which is inspiring to me because I had 2 slices of pizza before I came out. Nicole, you go. But Nicole's lifestyle is her brand. Not only is she the mom of 5 beautiful children, a successful model, a phenomenal entrepreneur, and now a proud grandma. At the age of 56, Nicole proudly aging, as my friend Vivica A. Fox says, like fine wine. In fact, she shared these poolside pictures, stopped us in her track. Nicole is joining us, though, not just to talk about aging, but something I have wanted to talk to her about since the news broke. In a daytime exclusive, she is opening up for the first time about the recent heartbreaking loss of her partner, Warren Braithwaite, and how it changed her perspective on aging when you lose someone you love. I believe she wrote that he was her world. I'm so honored that she agreed to talk with us about this chapter in her life. Please welcome entrepreneur, model, Nicole Murphy. Thank you so much for coming on. Amazing. You hear that?
Oh, you're so sweet.
You were always one of my dream guests because your fame was exposed in this interesting way. Yeah. Oprah Winfrey Show. I'll never forget it.
Oh, my God, I remember that.
Your then husband, Eddie Murphy, was on the couch talking, and she had you stand up in the audience and say, this is Eddie Murphy's wife, and I don't remember how many children at the time.
It was probably about 3.
At the time, 3 children. You stood up, this beautiful model, and then it was off to the races.
Right.
Everyone wanted to know more about Nicole Murphy after Eddie Murphy, after everything else. How do you describe it? Because that's an interesting way to become famous.
Yeah, I mean, that was so unexpected. I know he's famous, but, you know, even after the fact that when we got divorced, to this day, I still have paparazzi following me. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Why are you guys following me now? I'm not in the movies, but it's interesting, you know, it's just something that just stuck with me.
But you took the brand and turned it into your own brand.
Yeah.
And that's the difference as well, right? You share, most of your videos are about health and wellness and lifestyle. And then it stopped me in my tracks when you revealed to the world that the person you'd been sharing your life with for many years had died.
Right. He had multiple myeloma, cancer. It's a blood cancer. So it's untreatable. I mean, the only way you can treat it is through chemo. So
he was diagnosed before you met?
Yes, he had it for a while, but it's like your immune system, if you catch a cold, you get rid of it maybe like 4 or 5 days. Him, it would take him a month. And I just saw the decline. It just started, you know, catching up to him. And
so when you're entering a relationship and someone says to you, I have this.
Right. Yeah, he told me.
What was that like?
It was like, it's kind of shocking. And you're like, wow. You know, you do question yourself, do I want to deal with this? How am I going to deal with this? But, you know, I got to know him and I fell in love with him. He's such a great person and he treated me like a queen. So I was blessed to have that with him, you know?
What was it about him that made you say, you know what, I know you're facing this challenge? Because they say marriage for good or for bad and well, that you weren't married yet. You were just starting to date.
Yeah,
you're starting to date and you're looking at this major illness that he was facing. What was it about him that said, I'm gonna take this risk anyway?
You know what? He was a good person to me. He treated my kids wonderful. My kids adored him. And he was worth taken care of. You know, when he was in the hospital, I stayed in the hospital with him, slept on a bed for 2 weeks and 2 days. I was like, "You sick? I'm sick."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good.
You wrote about him and you said he was your world.
Yeah.
And I can see you reliving that moment because I know you
wonderful.
You
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl
I
in Vegas
know.
because he said I might not be able to make it to another
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, "Don't say that," you know. And he's like, "Well, you never know." And I said, "Well, don't say that because I'm big on manifesting. You manifest, you put it out there, it's gonna happen."
Yeah.
And he said it, and of course, when we got back, he got more sick, and then he ended up in the hospital. You know, it was crazy because I kept begging him. I was like, "You need to go back to the hospital." He's like, "No, no, no," and he fought me on it. And then finally, I was like, "Listen," it was a Saturday. I said, "If you're not well by 6 p.m., I'm calling the ambulance." 5 p.m., he said, "Call the ambulance." Call. They admit him in ICU.
Because he was in ICU, you weren't able to see him.
Exactly. But it turned out he caught COVID on top of the pneumonia. So I was like, "There's no coming back from this." His immune system was just too weak. So it was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. I'm seeing this strong, healthy man in front of me. He goes to the gym, he works out, he does all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, just to see the breakdown that fast was like unbelievable. So it's shocking. You don't want to believe it, you know?
And I know that in reliving the heartbreak of it all, I was so moved to hear that he was able to be with you at your son Miles' wedding.
I know.
Your son and now daughter-in-law Carly at their
Yes.
wedding in Beverly Hills. So you have these moments.
Wonderful moments. I've had wonderful, I cherish them all. And you know what? He taught me how to be treated by a man, really. So.
And I said this show really was dedicated to something of what you said. You said, I will change the way I see age. I won't focus on age. When you lose someone,
Yeah.
how does that change your perspective on how you look at age and the time you have left, and what are you going to do with that time?
Well, I'd say live life to the fullest. Go do what you want, what you've been dreaming about. I just got back from Kenya and had a ball. And, you know, I'm just on this new journey where I got to live. You have to live. You can't take life for granted.